Hello, friends from across the nation, around the world, and throughout the Storyverse. I'm Martin, and you are listening to Dad's Bedtime Stories. Tonight, we're going to be headed back into the Dragon Knight series to see what happens next. Now, in this case, I did actually come up with this story idea myself because I wanted to continue the story of Dragon Knights, and I'm kind of writing this one a little more like I might a book, chapter by chapter. But I do want to give a shout out to a whole bunch of people who have been suggesting great things for the series. First of all, I've had so many people ask for a lightning dragon that I just might have to find a way to do that in the future. We had Skylar and Andrew write in, asking for an electric dragon. We had Connor write in, asking for a thunder dragon, very similar. And we had Esther write in, looking for some lightning magic in the Dragon Knight series. So thank you to all of you. I'm currently thinking up how I might be able to put a lightning dragon into it. I didn't really talk about lightning dragons being a part of it in the first place, but I'm going to think on that. I also want to give a shout out to Amanda for suggesting that I make a song about the Princess Dragon. For those of you who don't know, I've taken it upon myself to start writing songs from the Storyverse and have them produced by an app called Suno that kind of turns your song ideas into fully formed songs. So, Amanda, challenge accepted. I will take it upon myself to write a story about the Princess Dragon from Dragon Knights, and we'll see what we come up with. If you want to hear that song or any others I've created, follow the Storyverse, which is an artist, on Spotify or Apple Music or anywhere else you get your music. I think it's kind of on everything now. Should be on YouTube Music too. Anyways, check it out, have a listen if you feel like it. Otherwise, I think it's time to get on to the story. Get as comfy as you can in that bed, close your eyes, and imagine yourself doing what the kid in the story does. Now, this story is going to be a bit of a two-parter. In part one, we're going to continue the story of Autumn, the dragon princess, along with her elemental dragon, Eliara, and their newfound friends, Ash and Cinder, the fire dragon and fire dragon riders. After that, we're going to switch back to your perspective as the main character here and continue the story when the groups meet up. Autumn and Ash spent the next few days flying together, hanging out together, and getting to know each other, all the while trying their best to hide from the king's teams of dragons. Autumn learned about how Ash had grown up in the coal mines in the volcano region. The story didn't make her happier. In fact, it solidified the choice she'd made to betray her father and save Ash and Cinder from the control spell. She couldn't believe that someone in her father's kingdom would be treated like Ash was. Somehow, he was still pretty upbeat and happy. Well, the two of them set up camp a few times to rest. They spent most of their days flying towards that strange pulling sensation that both of them had in their hearts. The further they flew, the stronger the sensation became. They could feel that they were getting closer to whatever it was they were meant to discover. Well, most of the time, the pull had called them forward through the sky. Suddenly, it was now leading them down towards the ground. Perhaps they'd found exactly where they were supposed to be. The two dragons, Cinder and Eliara, swooped down and landed beside a large mountain of rock. Autumn and Ash slid off their dragons and moved towards the side of the mountain. The pull was coming from inside, Maybe there was a cave or opening somewhere around here, like where they'd found their dragons. But before they could check, they heard a rustle in the bushes and a voice coming from behind them. "Well, well, well, if it isn't the traitorous princess and her new dragon knight friend." Autumn and Ash spun around to see two elemental dragons, along with two of her father's knights, stepping out of the forest, along with dragons and riders of every other elemental type. A fire, an earth, a water, a wind, and of course, a nature dragon, making 7 in total. "Looks like we finally caught up with the two of you. Now, the question is, will you come peacefully to face the king, or will we have to do it the hard way?" Autumn and Ash looked at each other, nodded in understanding, and jumped into fighting stances, instantly summoning their dragon knight armor around their bodies. Cinder, the fire dragon, and Eliara, the elemental dragon, took fighting stances of their own, preparing to blast the enemies with anything they could give. They may be outnumbered, but there wasn't a chance they were going to give up. To their surprise, the mountain behind them suddenly started to rumble, and then a huge door rolled open. And now, my friends, it's time to switch things back to your perspective, and take things back a little bit in time here. You see, you, Ellie, and all of the other dragon riders had spent the last little while hiding out in your cave base, and training in all of your new elemental powers. During that time, your knowledge of almost every element had greatly improved. Other than fire, you could use it a little bit, but it wasn't as good as the other elements. Realizing that your main advantage over the Dragon Thief's riders was that you and the others had elemental powers of your own, you decided to train for that advantage. The more powerful you became wielding elements without the help of the dragons, the more threatening you became. Not having to rely solely on the dragons for battle would mean that you were essentially twice as powerful. Both a dragon with powerful elemental magic and a dragon rider with equally powerful magic. And while not all of the dragon knights could fly in the same way that you and James the Wind Dragon could, using wind magic, you and the others found ways around that by doing something you called elemental surfing. It was simple, really. All you had to do was make a disc or platform out of whatever element it was you could control, and then ride it like a surfboard. Even if the dragon rider couldn't technically fly, the elemental surfboard could. Bennett was the one to suggest the technique, as he'd used it before, but the others caught on quickly. Betty, the water dragon rider, simply made a little disc out of ice and kind of froze it to her feet. Jules, the nature dragon rider, would make a disc of wood and do the same. You and James simply commanded the air that was already inside your bodies to allow you to fly. It gave all of you a newfound sense of freedom. Even in the air, you were no longer reliant on the dragons. Slowly, you were all becoming dragons in your own right, as powerful with elements and as dangerous too. Now, it was time to go out and practice as you had many other days, sparring with the other dragon riders against the other dragons. Only, you suddenly get a strange feeling in your stomach. That same pulling sensation you had when you first met Ellie. Only now it feels stronger and something feels wrong. Something feels urgent. "Everyone, we have to go quickly," you yell. Immediately the dragons jump up and the dragon riders form their dragon armor. You jump atop Ellie, give her a little nudge, and blast out of the cage, using wind magic to fly as quickly as you can. Ellie reaches out towards the wall of the mountain and rolls it aside as you blast out into the sky and head high up above to see what's going on. The others blast out behind you. Jules and Vine, the nature dragon, Betty and Luna, the water dragon, Bennett and Granite, the earth dragon, and James and Whisper, the wind dragon. When you look down at the ground, you see 2 other dragon riders in full dragon knight armor, surrounded by a whole bunch of the dragon thief's men. 2 elemental dragons and 1 dragon of each element: earth, fire, wind, water, and nature. 7 in total. Luckily, you've been training for this moment. "Ellie, you know what to do," you command. Immediately, you and Ellie both disappear from existence, clouding yourself in an invisible force field, using the power of all elements at once. "You take one of the elementals, and I'll get the other," you say. You immediately jump off Ellie's back, catching yourself using the wind magic. You swoop down towards the forest, and as you go, you pick up rocks from the ground. Before the other elemental dragons even have a chance to react, you blast straight into one of their riders, smashing them with rocks and using the rocks to form a sort of, cage around them, pinning them to the ground and encasing them in rocks. Behind you, you see Ellie appear out of nowhere and tackle the other elemental dragon while using her tail to summon water. A stream of water whips around the dragon, smashes the rider off, and immediately freezes it to the ground. From experience, you know that the 2 dragons won't do a thing without their riders to command them. However the control spell works, it needs some sort of direct input. You blast up into the sky and look around to see if there's anyone else who needs help. First, you catch a glimpse of Betty and Luna squaring up against the other water dragon. Luna charges at the dragon and unleashes a blast of ice, while Betty jumps up into the air, summons water into a disc, freezes it to her feet, and blasts over top of the dragon. As she flies, she summons water out of the air, condensing it into a long, tentacle-like thing that she whips around like an extension of her arm. The tentacle of water wraps around the other rider, freezes, and Betty yanks the rider up out of its seat, throwing him deep into the forest. Well, I guess she doesn't need help, you say. You look around to see if the others need you. You see Jules and Vine squaring up against the other nature dragon. Well, the two dragons run towards each other, both summoning twisting trees out of the ground to try to surround their enemy. Jules jumps in the air in much the same way Betty did. She summons a disc of wood and snaps it to her feet. At the same time, two large vines shoot out of the ground and wrap around her arms. At first, you think it's the other nature dragon doing it, but then you realize it's actually Jules. The vines rip out of the ground on the other side, and Jules uses them in much the same way Betty did, like long tentacles, extensions of her body. She shoots the vines down to wrap around the arms and legs of the rider, and then shoots the rider through the air and into the forest. Above you, James and Whisper are having a sort of aerial battle against the other wind dragon, zipping around with sonic booms until you see a sudden smash of air and watch as the enemy rider flies off of the dragon, gets caught in a mini tornado, and gently lands on the ground. You quickly swoop down, land on the ground, and summon the earth itself to wrap around the rider, hardening it into stone and capturing the enemy. To your side, you see Bennett and the Earth Dragon in a sort of rock battle, each side launching powerful rocks at the other. In the midst of the chaos, Bennett jumps off the back of Granite and dives into the earth, as if it were water. Your earth elemental connection allows you to sense him moving down through the ground and up underneath the other dragon. While the dragon's distracted by the onslaught of rocks coming from Granite, Bennett blasts out of the earth behind him, along with a whole bunch of rocks, and sends one straight towards the head of the dragon rider, knocking him out instantly. You head back over towards the two strangers, the dragon riders you hadn't met yet, and you see that the two of them are engaged in battle with another fire dragon. The fire dragon unleashes a plume of fire straight out of its mouth, and Eliara, the elemental dragon, simply jumps in front and redirects the fire away from her, scooping up stone with her tail and whipping it at the fire dragon. The boulder hits the dragon, sending him flying into the trees behind. At the same time, Ash blasts into the air, using fire like rockets on his feet and his hands, blasting him up above the fight and then flying down with some serious force towards the enemy fire dragon. There's a sort of small explosion, followed by the enemy rider zipping up through the air and crashing into the ground. With the threat temporarily defeated and all of the controlled dragons just sort of sitting around with glowing eyes, you join the others. Hi there, you say, approaching August and Ash. It looks like you two might be dragon riders just like us. Yeah, I think we are. My name is August, and this is Ash. I am an elemental dragon rider, like you, I guess. And Ash is a fire type. This is my dragon, Eliara, and Ash's dragon, Cinder. Nice to meet you. You respond. So, what now? You ask. You look towards your cave, but you realize that it's likely been compromised. The enemies saw you come out of it, so if the other dragons make it back to the Dragon King, you're toast. Well, you say, this has been a good hideout for a while, but I think it's time we find a new one. Once these dragons head back, they'll tell the king where we are. August suddenly gets a strange look in her eyes, almost as if she's about to cry. Well, maybe you shouldn't just send them back, she says. Well, what else are we gonna do with them? You ask. We can't keep them prisoner, and I don't think we can unalive them if that's what you're suggesting. No, August responds. Of course I'm not suggesting that. What I was thinking is that we would remove the control spell. Remove the control spell? You respond. Is that something we can do? Well, it just so happens that I kind of know how the spell works, and I'm pretty sure I can reverse it, Autumn says. How? You ask. Autumn looks at Ash, who nods in agreement. Well, the thing is, the Dragon King is kind of my father. A feeling of panic shoots up your spine. You're not sure if you should run or fight her or what you should do. What do you mean he's your father? I mean, he's my father. And until I found him capturing Ash here, I was kind of on his side. He taught me everything he knew, including the control spell. Watch, she says as she walks up towards one of the elemental dragons. Autumn places her hand on the dragon's head. There's a sudden flash of light, and the dragon's glowing eyes disappear. I'm free, the dragon says. You freed me from that horrible spell. Thank you, young one. Thank you. You watch in amazement as August makes her way to each of the dragons, placing her hand on each of their heads and removing the control spell. Each of the dragons is absolutely blown away, thankful beyond belief to finally be freed from the control. They gather around you and the others. Are you truly free? You ask. Yes, we are. Free for the first time in our entire lives. Then, will you join us? You ask. The two elemental dragons look at each other, and then at the others. We will, but we have something we must do first. We must find our riders. When you need us, we will return. You are true dragon knights. You follow the old ways, and we will be on your side. Plus, we wouldn't mind a little revenge. We will take the knights far from here before we go. far enough that they won't soon be able to report back to the dragon thief. The elemental dragon promises, and one by one, they round up the knights that formerly had control over them, before taking off into the air. This is amazing, you say. If we can free the dragons instead of just fighting them off, then we might actually have a chance to win this. There's finally a way to turn them to our side. There's finally a way to grow our numbers and face the Dragon King. I wouldn't be so quick about that, Autumn interrupts. He still has the ability to use the control spell and to block your connection to your dragon. We'll have to be prepared for that. We'll have to think of something. Maybe you could teach us how the control spell works, you suggest. If we're all able to reverse it like you are, then, well, he shouldn't be able to take control like he did for all the other dragon knights. Maybe I can. It's not an easy thing to learn, though. You have to truly understand magic. Together, you head back inside the large mountain cave system. Once again, you and Ellie, with the help of Granite and Bennett, make 2 new large living areas off to the side. Ellie uses her various elemental magics to create beds, pillows, mattresses, and a sort of mini apartment for each of them. Well, here's your new rooms, you say. Wow, this is amazing. I mean, for a cave anyways, August responds. Yeah, this is so cool, Ash says. Well, good night, everyone. Good night, you respond as you walk back to your little mini cave apartment. Ellie curls up outside the cave opening, and you head directly towards your bed. You lay down on the very comfortable mattress and pull the covers up over top of yourself. They're made out of a mix of moss and wood grain thread, but they're actually some of the most comfortable covers you've ever felt in your life. And they have a little bit of weight to them, too. You close your eyes and you begin to breathe. With each breath, your body begins to sink down into the mattress. The more you breathe, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you sink. Until your eyes start to feel incredibly tired. You simply allow them to close as your mind wanders off to thoughts of new dreams and new adventures to come. Good night, everyone.